was with Aldi Books, and I have been reading, okay, spoiler alert, I finished some books since last Friday. I'm quite pleased. So yeah, and today was the last like real Friday because next Friday is just a teacher work day, and then we are on full-on summer vacation, so super duper excited. Anyway, diving right in, I have 3 books that I finished and can't talk with you about just yet. I finished another of the Little Favors stories. This one is Flannery O'Connor's A Good Man Is Hard to Find. Sean and I, white just blows out, sorry. There's a little car there. Sean and I are chatting about this one. And then I just finished After the Party by Cressida Connolly. And Natalie and I have made a vlog together. Yeah, so excited. Taking, you know, a little inspiration from Sean. And we're getting together and chatting about this book. So we're excited to share that with you very soon once we get it all edited and, you know, uploaded. And then I finished A Place for Us by Fatima Farine Mirza. This one is the last one I needed to read for the quarterfinals of the BookTube prize, so I can't talk about it just yet either. I believe that the next round will be announced on May 26th, so coming soon, very soon. And this has been so much fun. And my experience with round 2 is like polar opposite from round 1, if you remember my round 1 experience. So I'm really excited to talk about this May 26th, May 27th, whenever I get it up. But yeah, and super thanks to Robert from Barter Hordes for organizing this, because it has been an amazing experience. So now on to the books that I have been reading, and this is, I hope the sun doesn't bother me. Okay, this is very inspired by Asian and Pacific Island Heritage Month and the Asian Readathon. So I thought I would dabble in that this month, and I've ended up just like immersing myself in it. So this one was actually an Indian author, American, yeah, in California. Was, I can't talk about it. And then, if you remember last Friday, I mentioned Lucky Boy, which was another Indian story set in the California also, I believe. And that one devastated me. So I needed some happy romance to get over that, okay? I really did. I was on Scribd looking up something else, and I noticed The Bride Test by Helen Huang pop up. Sorry, the lighting. I noticed it pop up in my suggestions, and I thought, oh, that's a cute cover. Maybe that would be a good one. And when I looked it up on Goodreads, I realized it was the companion to this one that was like all the rage last year, The Kiss Quotient, also by Helen Huang, obviously. So I thought, oh, I need to read that one first. So I got this on audio. It was delightful. I downloaded it to listen while I was mowing the yard, and I turned it on and did not stop until it was finished. I think it was 8.5, 9 hours. I did listen to it at 1.25, so less than that, but, you know, under 8 hours, I guess, but it was awesome. Okay, these are very, very steamy, and they're just also very sweet. There's none of that angst and drama. They're just people finding each other and getting to know each other, and they're people that love their families and support each other, and they're kind, and I mean, it's just so refreshing, really. Highly recommend these if you are looking for that genre. Yeah, I enjoyed. And these are, was it Vietnamese? I'm like 98% positive of that. Yeah. And I just say that because these are also Vietnamese. These are quite different otherwise, though. These are middle grades, so not steamy. Well, they're steamy because they're in the jungles of Vietnam. Quite warm there. But yeah, different kind of steamy. I read this one, Inside Out and Back Again by Tana Lai, recently. I can't remember if it was earlier this year or late last year, but recently. Loved it. This one is written in verse, and Tana Lai herself is an immigrant to the U.S. She was a refugee from Vietnam during the fall of Saigon, and grew up here, started, I guess, in elementary school. So she was an ESL student, and then grew up to be an author, writing in English beautifully. This was so gorgeous and really emotional, and you got immersed in the trials that these kids were going through, and the mother, and oh, it was really beautiful and just heart-wrenching, but uplifting as well. I loved it. So this one I got off Thrift Books recently, and I thought it would be verse as well, but I found out it was not. It's prose. And for some reason I thought, it's probably not quite as good. It was delightful. This is the most charming story. I laughed out loud. And this one I read. I like to read literary stuff if I can. We are sorry for that interruption. We got an unknown caller from Chicago, Illinois. The hazards of filming on the iPhone. Isn't that right, boo? Hey, boo. Isn't that right? Oh, anyway. Where was I? Yeah, so I read this one and really liked that. But this one, I was needing a new audiobook, so I just well, let's try this one out because it was available. My gosh. This was the most delightful audiobook ever. The woman who read it was incredibly talented. So talented. There are several, quite often, that there are Vietnamese words thrown in and explanations of the tonal qualities of the words, and just having her be able to transition effortlessly between the English and the Vietnamese was amazing, and her accents. And there is one boy in here who he's from Vietnam, but he's the village has gotten together and donated money so that he can go study in the States, in Texas. So he is speaking formal English with a Vietnamese Texan accent. It's awesome. And then the little girl in the story, the main character, grew up in California, so her parents were also refugees from the fall of Saigon, but the little girl was born in California and raised there. So she, when she speaks a little, her Vietnamese isn't strong, but she's working on it in the story, and so she speaks it with a California accent and as a second language, an obvious second language learner. And this narrator, she is just so gifted, so gifted. But the story itself, oh, I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. There were so many things that I found just laugh out loud, literally funny. for example, the little girl has to accompany her grandmother back to Vietnam to kind of watch over her, because the grandmother wants to like find resolution with her her husband that she lost track of during the war. They don't know what happened to him, and she just wants resolution with that. And the little girl accompanies her because the mom is a lawyer and has a big trial coming up and he can't go, and the dad is a doctor and he's going to do cleft palate surgery. He's got him lined up and can't, you know, he doesn't have time. So the girl is the one that's accompanying the grandmother against her will, because she would rather, you know, hang out with this new boy on the beach. But she's so sassy, but so respectful at the same time, and so, oh gosh, she's funny. But anyway, this one scene, she's got this little village of all the women in the village are having a little sewing class, and she gets them all to take their granny panty underwear and make thongs out of them. I kid you not. This book is great. But there's also this sweet story too about obviously the grandmother looking for her husband, and oh, these are great. I highly recommend these. Highly recommend. So that's this week, what I read, and it's a great reading week. So I want to continue with the Asian readathon. So I think that this evening I will pick up The Buddha in the Attic by Julie Otsuka. This is the one that Krista from Books and Jam just sent me, so I think I can maybe finish it this weekend. It's little, 129 pages, so surely I can do that. I'm not sure what it's about, but anyway, I'll let you know. And then also I have the Showa, A History of Japan that I've been reading by Shigeru Mizuki. These are the mangas. And this one is 1944 to 1953. So I am super excited to get into this one because I want to see how the Japanese mindset transitions from the war machine into, you know, what they have become on the world stage today. So really excited to get this one read, hopefully this weekend. And then I believe that Heidi and I are going to start The Thousand Autumns of Jacob de Zoet by David Mitchell. I think we're going to start this on Monday. I got to touch base with her about that. But this one is for Mel from Mel's Bookland Adventures, her Through the Ages with Eves Alexandria. They're doing that program this year. So it fits the prompt of something about the 18th Japan. I don't know. I'll let you know about that one too more when I read it. And then finally, Britta Bowler and I, this is non-Asian, but Britta Bowler and I are buddy reading The Illumination of Ursula Flight by Anna Marie Crowhurst. Finally, I'm gonna get to this, and I have good feeling about this one. I think I'm going to love it. So that's what I got. Thanks so much for watching, and I will be back soon. Bye. Oopsie. You loving my books, boo? Books are precious, aren't they? They are just awesome things. Make a good scratching post.